This program is brought to you by newscliptv.com. Make your own news. Register online and become a Newsclip TV reporter. Newsclip TV, your community news website.
Welcome to Persistence Pays TV. I'm your host, Lori Rowdnask. Have you ever wondered some mornings when you get up, you put a green sweater on instead of a red sweater, or you go into someone's house and you feel really warm in a blue house, and then you go to someone else's house and their house is yellow and you don't get that same warm feeling? Well, colors play a big part in our life. And I have Angela Dacey here, and she's going to explain to us how we can use colors in our life, in our business, and really what colors mean. I know for myself, if I put a certain color on, typically I love to wear red. I feel great, I feel energized. Today I wore my most colorful jacket because we're talking about color today. So how do you feel when you put on certain colors, and what do colors mean in business? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So Angela, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you so much
for joining us in the studio to talk about colors.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Good, great. So I know, like, when I put on certain colors, I feel great. And sometimes you can listen to other people and they can tell you that you don't look great. You know, I always feel that if someone says, oh my goodness, you look great in that outfit, it's because they think that what you're wearing looks great. But a lot of times it's about the color.
Well, colors have frequencies. It has energy, and it's been scientifically proven that that energy affects us. It affects our behaviors, our moods, our thoughts, our feelings, which is why we gravitate to different colors throughout the day or in our home decorating or even through our businesses. So when somebody says, wow, that looks fantastic on you, chances are it's helping your energy and it's making you look even brighter and better and bigger, but maybe they need it as well, and it's giving them a little burst of refreshness, and it's a neat thing. It's really, we're so affected by it and we don't even realize how much so.
Right, and I think a lot of people, when they're putting their business together, they don't really think about color. I mean, it's kind of, oh, my favorite color is, and so they kind of build their business around that. So let's just talk a little bit about color in business.
Sure. Sure. I noticed a lot with marketing's my background from a long time ago. I mean, I do personal development training and I do the color strategist work, but I love tying it in with businesses because that's my background. I find logos are huge. Branding is huge. If you don't understand what your intention is and what your mission is and what you're bringing to the public or how you're serving, then your logo has to match that. And I find so often that people will go, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do, but then their logo's like, really? It doesn't look anything like it. Or it's hard to describe just kind of on a general term, but when you understand color and the purposes behind it and how it affects you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, which we can talk about, then you'll go, oh, that's why I have to paint this color. So I've done everything from redecorated coffee shops to tattoo shops to salons, because again, the colors they choose is going to influence not only them being in it every day, but their customer base.
Well, tell me about some of the big brands, like what colors they use. Like, for instance, McDonald's uses red and yellow.
All the time. Red, orange, and yellow are the main colors you will always see in fast food restaurants. Red stimulates the appetite. It's about fast, quick, in, out, move. We don't want you sticking around too long, and we want you hungry. So red, orange, and yellow, they're all about digestion. They have to do with energy centers that sit in this area of our body called chakras, which is spinning wheel of energy. Without getting too confusing, this whole area is about digestion. So you will find that the companies that know what they're doing are very much into what's going to influence us and our buying behavior. Red is a very action-oriented color. That's why you see it in retail all the time on sale signs. That's why Coca-Cola is in red, right? It's about drink, move, fast, action. Everything's great, forward thinking. You would rarely see blue. But interestingly enough, President's Choice came out with the blue line of food, and it's about portion control. Well, blue suppresses the appetite. So, now don't go out and paint all your kitchens blue, because everyone's like, oh my gosh!
Paint your fridge blue.
Well, it's been said too that there's some diet companies out there that say put a blue light in your fridge. So when you open your fridge, your food doesn't look appetizing. What I normally say is don't go crazy and paint a whole room blue. And if you're a restaurant, be really careful in using blues, especially if you're a Greek restaurant, because Greek restaurants always do the white and the blue theme, and it's really tough for people to feel warm and connected and wanting to eat when they're in blue. So I always say if you're going to bring some blue in, do it for portion control. Do it at your own home on blue plates. Use some blue napkins. Have a little bit of something, but don't go crazy on the blue when it comes to eating. Red, orange, and yellow are the colors that work the best.
It's interesting that you say the Greek restaurant, because I love Greek food and we always go to this restaurant, and once the food comes, I'm not hungry. Because for one thing, Greek restaurants usually give you an overabundance of food. But it's funny now that you say that, it kind of maybe correlates into the color.
It's interesting because I'm up in Newmarket, and there was a Greek restaurant that was in Newmarket, and it was all painted in blue. It was gorgeous, and I love the Mediterranean look. And I thought to myself, I remember saying to my husband, I give it 6 months. And he said, why? And I said, because the whole outside is painted in blue, and it doesn't make you feel like there's a need to eat and to go and to sit. But I said, I want to check it out. So I went inside. Oh my gosh, the food was to die for. It was so amazing. But it was gone in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
So I really highly suggest, again, when you know what color influences you, that's huge. Imagine spending all that money on a restaurant and not knowing.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
And if you would have walked in and said, excuse me, I just want to tell you need to change your color theme, they might not have took you very seriously.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can bring it in other ways. It doesn't have to be, massive walls. It could be bring in the Mediterranean color in a different way. And that's, the Greek restaurant's one aspect.
Yeah.
If you own a Greek restaurant, then I hope that helps.
And what other tips could you give for businesses?
Well, if we go through the colors really quickly, if you don't mind, because it's probably the best way to go.
Yeah.
Reds are, we mentioned, all about passion and action. So anytime you want movement, anytime you want sales, anytime you want things happening that are fast, definitely go for the red.
Now, it's interesting, if we talk about red, my book cover is red, and my branding is red, and I love to wear red.
There you go.
And especially red shoes.
Good for you.
But it's interesting, when my book got translated to Spanish this year, they changed the color of the book to blue.
Right.
Because in Mexico, it's too, it's too powerful.
Right.
So they changed the cover to blue.
And that's more subdued. So you just went from a very masculine-based, energetic, aggressive color to a more subdued, feminine, softer, more emotional-based color. So very, very different on the book front.
Yeah.
Is one selling better than the other?
Well, it's through Random House, so I don't know what their sales are yet. But both look good. They did a great job. But I just found it interesting that red was too aggressive as a female in Mexico.
Yeah, and red, orange, and yellow is very masculine-oriented colors, where the green, blues, indigo, violets, pinks are very feminine. So it's interesting you said that. And it depends on culture. There's color, again, we're so influenced by it.
Right.
With cultures, holidays, all the rest. But reds, I would say, if you're in business, it's when you do definitely want to create some form of action. You want to show courage, determination. They say wear that red suit when you're going in there to make a sale. That's when you want to bring in the red.
And for men, a red tie?
Perfect.
Yeah.
It can be a red tie. Yeah, it can be something so simple. It doesn't always have to be clothing either. It could be the binder, the portfolio book you have.
Right.
It could be something small.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Orange is also a very physical-based color, but it's based on playfulness and joy. So it's where you find the class clowns, the comedy acts. It's great for yucks. It's great for like if you were doing Second City. If you're doing something that creates entertainment, laughter, and fun, that's where you want to bring in the orange. So great for a children's toy store, or anything that has to do with kids. It's about playfulness in life, right? So that's
very interesting because the studio has orange in it, and that's what I love the studio, because it's playful and it's fun, and they're recording and videotaping. So
and it's entertainment.
Yeah.
So that's perfect.
Okay.
And I'm also going to say it's the social side, and it's also the relationship side in a sense too. So again, if you're a dating site, you might want to bring in that. If you're speed dating, orange would be fantastic.
So you're better to wear orange when you're speed dating?
Again, sure. It depends what you want to attract. Now, yellow, when you're coming into it, you're moving into the mental energy. So you're looking at, I think, fantastic for any IT businesses, engineering businesses, anything that has to do with thinking, analyzing, studying, researching. Then you're looking very yellow energy. And it says, you know what, you can trust us to do the research and to do it well. So that's when I would use the yellow. It's also a very fun, positive, uplifting color. Again, so if you're trying to show some form of positivity, but it's clarity. It's like, think of Post-it notes.
Right.
We write things helps our memory, helps our concentration. So it's a fantastic color for something like that. So if your business is wrapped in the mental-oriented field, bring in yellow.
Great.
Okay. Now if you're moving into the emotional field, which is the greens and blues, green's all about the heart center. So it's all about giving and receiving. So if you're in caregiving, anything that's to do with nurturing, taking care of people, serving in some way, or maybe based in connection to the earth with plants, with flowers, with vegetation. That's when, veterinarians, I even want to say, you're caring for the animals.
Right.
Green.
Okay.
Okay. Blues are as much emotion as well, but they're about communication and expression.
Funny that I wore a blue jacket
There you
today.
go, exactly. And it's also about trust and loyalty and authenticity. You'll find this color used a lot with banks and accountants and
Right,
lawyers.
yeah.
Because it says we're organized, you can trust us, and we have integrity. Okay, so that's where the blue comes in. When you're moving into the purples, you're moving into the spiritual center. Now, interesting, if you go into like a chapters or an indigo, you're going to notice that all the self-help books and all the spiritual-based books usually have purples in them. Purples are very much connected to spirit. So dark purple, indigo, is inner spirit, where the violet, kind of more magenta, pinkish purple, is connected to outer. So what that means is if you're dealing with a meditation type of place, a yoga type of place, anywhere where you're doing healing work, you might want to bring in the dark purple because it says, let's get quiet, let's get zen. If you're bringing in the violet, then you're talking about creativity. So maybe you're an artistic type of place, maybe you're an art gallery, maybe you're into music, something with creative energy, then you bring in that. Okay, now
good.
pink, because I always bring pink in. Pink is like self-love, and it kind of ties in everything. It can tie into the top purple from the rainbow, or it can tie into the bottom reds. So it's very much on like a universal hug and a self-hug, and it's about self-worth. So very interesting color when, I always think of the breast cancer ribbon being
Right,
pink.
yeah.
I always find breast cancer women are women who give, and have trouble receiving. Pink is time for me.
Wow, that's great.
So that's kind of the gamut of all the colors in a nutshell, but it shows you how when you're in, you can use it for yourself, but when you're in business, it's so important to think about, what am I trying to portray? What's my
Right.
intention? Who's my market? What do I want them to actually buy from me? What's my purpose of being here? And then your colors can be in accordingly.
So if you were a writer and you wanted to paint your office or where you do writing, what color would you
Two ways.
suggest?
I'd probably say the blues and I'd say the indigos, because blue's about the expression and the communication coming out.
Yeah.
And the indigo is about that inner spirit of, let's channel that information. Let's really tune into what are we trying to say. Let's get quiet and hear the words.
That's great. Well, that's great information. And you've got lots of products here. You've got some oils. We've put some lavender on my wrist because I love the scent. I love lavender. I shower
Nice.
in lavender every day because I
Beautiful.
just love the smell of lavender. And so you've got bath products here that come in the different colors so that when you put them in the bath, it's that color.
Well, exactly. I think of color as food for the soul. So when we need to be bringing in nutrients, we can do it energetically through color. So if you know that you're going to be writing an exam or you need to be on your ball mentally, then you just know you need yellow because it's a mentally oriented color. So maybe you'd wake up and have a yellow bath where you'd soak in a color of yellow. Doesn't stain their type of skin. Or you might put on...
Go to school all yellow.
Yeah, exactly. You don't do that. Or, but maybe you write your notes in a yellow binder, or you wear a yellow t-shirt that day, or the scent of rosemary connects to that with the same properties. So you find ways to say, what am I in need of today, and how can I incorporate it into my life? Through food, through decorating, through clothing, maybe just buying yourself some flowers.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to incorporate it, and when you listen to your instincts, you will know what color you need.
That's so amazing. And the water, the color for water, again, they're both the same. The bath, these two products are both the same.
Yeah, can I reach over and
Yes,
show you?
absolutely.
I'll give you an example. So this indigo color bath, for example, it's a liquid, you can hear it. It's the same as the bottle. The
Okay.
bottle, you get 20 to 22 baths, and it's much more cost effective. This is just like a little sample. So this is about 2 baths. And it doesn't stain the tub or skin, and there's no scent, but you pour it into the tub. My kids don't know what life is like without a color bath. Either do I anymore. And then you actually bathe in it. And what happens is within 15 minutes, it's like you're energized. So it's like taking your vitamins and minerals for the day, but you're doing it with color.
Awesome.
And you can shift moods, you can shift energies, you can calm stress, you can relieve sore muscles, you can... amazing. It's just amazing. You can have more playful time. You can get out a seasonal affective disorder because the oranges and the yellows are really good for that. Whatever we're in need of, we can use color to help boost us.
Well, that is very, very interesting. And what we've talked about has been great on a personal level. I mean, we talked about what all the colors mean, how you can use them in business, and I think you've given us a wealth of information, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, there's tons of info on my website, so please read more.
Okay, that's
you.
great. Thank you so much for taking the time for being with us today.
Thank you.
So know what color makes you feel great, and really think about the colors that Angela told us today. Pay attention when you get dressed in the morning. What color are you wearing? How does it make you feel? Are you being productive, creative? So I found that very, very interesting. So I can't wait to do a little more research on what colors mean and how I can best use them in my business. Thanks for tuning in to Persistence Pays TV. Have a great day.